Two important things for pixel art when you start drawing are some reference and a window where you can see what you're doing in a tiny version. Keep checking what you're drawing against that tiny version every few changes you make to make sure that you don't stray too far. I'm going to show you my process on how I draw a pixel art bird. I first draw the silhouette of it. When drawing, in general, details are super important and the smallest of changes have a big impact, but that importance is wrapped up to like 100 when you're doing pixel art because you have very little to work with, and one pixel can define whether something is curved or squared. I then pick my base colors and try to match the reference as best as I can. What I do at first is color pick the reference because focusing on both the silhouette and getting the colors right is way too much at once. I'm not focusing on color cohesion, but instead on getting the gesture and the shapes right. After adding some colors, the silhouette becomes a lot more clear. So in this stage, I tend to go back and forth between the base color and the silhouette and edit what I don't like. I like outlining my birds as well. For now, I put the line art on a separate layer above everything else because it can alter the silhouette and how it's read by the viewer. To manage this, I put some pixels on the outside of the bird and with others on the inside of it, depending on what works. There are parts of him where I decide not to put any outline at all because I think it will be too bulky, like in the beak. Finally, I start refining the colors. I'm not entirely sure how to explain why I pick certain colors, but to me, some colors seem more appropriate than others. For example, I don't think the reddish brown of the wing and the gray look very nice. They seem too dark for what I want. So I lighten everything up and make the feet a little more red as well. If you're doing this for an asset and you don't have outside knowledge of where they will be placed, you can only go off of what feels right to you. But if you do have the knowledge of what the background will look like, I recommend you have the background in your file to check against the colors and work on top of it. Check your colors against it, see how it looks. Does it need to be lighter? Does it need to be darker? Is the contrast fine? And so on. After I set the foundation with the silhouette and base colors, I'm finally able to shade this bird. I shaded the belly with 2 shades. I added one color for the light and added some modeling of the wing. I keep them on separate layers so I'm able to adjust them by hue sliding. I came back to it and shaded the back foot eventually, so the bird ended up looking like this, but I didn't record this bit. This bird is for someone that commissioned me and will end up being animated in the future, so I'm going to make a video on that as well. But for now, here's a little preview of what it's going to end up looking like. This is another bird that I animated a while ago, and it is currently on my itch page. If you'd want to own it for the low price of $250 USD, you get another 4 birds with it as part of the pack. You can use them however you'd like, except for reselling the pack as is. Please don't do that. You can use them in your game, you can use them in your project. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is just my process. This isn't the right way or the wrong way to do things. This is just what's easiest and what works for me. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.